hard, or they're clever,
Right.
or they're good at great. One of the things that it's why this is so full circle.
And say restrain.
Why I think you're balanced is because you think you're going to be the biggest, and you think you're no one.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah,
I understand that too. And that's no different than not getting too high when everybody says you're great.
Yeah, I'm a big believer of this too, and it comes down to not taking anything personally, whether it's positive or negative.
Correct.
Because you can't sit there and be like, oh, I'm not going to take negativity personally, but I'm going to accept all this praise. It really has to be from both ends. You know, when someone comes up to me, as many people do, and I'm sure, Gary, you have this a lot, people will come up to you and say, you changed my life, and I always say, I didn't.
Every day.
You did. You changed your life. Perhaps I was part of your world at that
You're
moment.
much better than I'm completely the reason your life has changed.
You are the reason I have a late night show as well, so I agree. But it goes back to just not taking either of those things personally. And I know it sounds kind of absurd because you think you should be taking in positive energy, not negative, but I think you can't pick and choose, right? You can't take in someone's word of you being beautiful and not the negativity, you know?
Jamie, one other weird little thing.
Absolutely.
I think you should go and volunteer one day for a retirement home.
Wow, okay.
I'll tell you why. I feel like people that are in this position need massive perspective injects, right? We're having this awesome talk. You're going to take the high of this. You're going to build a little bit. I'm telling you right now, there's nothing that can help people more than going to somebody who they don't know, not your grandparent, and spending a day with people in their 90s and understanding how all the things of people rolling up on you in the Miami scene and casting judgment means jack shit. And that perspective is everything. You've got to start the process off this phone call to detach from judgment, both pro and con. That is the roundup.
Also, the last thing I'm going to say to you as someone who also dances, anyone that says you're not an athlete because you dance is wrong. Dance is so extreme.
Yeah, fucking hell. So hard.
Of course.
Be proud of that. Be proud of that. As a fellow dancer, I just had to throw that in there.
Jamie, instead of letting you go and having this feel-good moment, what have you, like, I'm just really curious, like, what's running through your mind right now for real?
Okay.
More importantly, not the good, but the part that you're leaving when you hang up here where you're like, yeah, but. I want to really know what's in your head as yeah, but, Jamie.
So can I say 3 things?
You can take 7.
Because these are the 3 things that are on my mind. So number 1, Lily, you said that to get out of your funk, you do something like take a vacation and you blah, blah, blah. So, like, I feel even worse because, like, I just did that. So, like, I'm trying to start a modeling career on top of the fitness business that I'm running in Miami. So I just went to Italy for 10 days to, like, clear my mind in vacation. But then you come back and you're like, oh, wait, I still got all this to do and I got to figure out how I'm going to get it done. So, like, for me, I feel like I've done the vacation part. I've even, like, packed up all my stuff, moved to a different city because I was just over the fitness industry here, and I've come back and then people support me all the same. So, like, for me, I don't know how to get out of the funk because I've done the rest part of it, like the rest your mind part. Now it's just like, crap, how do I build a bigger business on top of this? Number 2, Gary, you said, like, quiet and, like, silence. Oh, man. So, like, social media really drives me crazy because I watch your videos, Gary, and you say to post content. And for me, that is the hardest thing to do because I'm a personality, but, like, I hate to post on social media. Like, even my social media
Jamie,
now.
you hate to post on social media because you overvalue the opinions. You're not in a mindset of creation. You're in a mindset of validation.
And speaking of validation and credit, I just came up with a thing called Disappearing December, which we'll talk about at the beginning.
No, but really, let's go back to that point real quick. Like, literally, 99% of people online are in the mindset of validation. The reason I say post is I want you to be in a mindset of creation. I want you to do it for you. Jamie, you probably aren't watching my content enough to know that I reference 7 times a year that scene from Rocky 4 where Drago loses to Rocky and he yells at the Soviet Union and all the people in the crowd and he said, fuck you guys, this wasn't America versus the USSR, I was in this ring for me. And that's like what I want to inject a little Drago into everybody. I want you to post for you, not for the likes, not for the validation, for the mindset of creating and leaving your 2 cents on the world for you.
Yeah, fuck
the
yeah.
reason nobody wants to post is it's become one big game of insecurity.
Of course. It's true.
What's the third thing?
Insecure in the bars.
The third thing is just like, so, Gary, I kind of jumped into you when I was 19 and 20 because I got sponsored by one of the biggest universities here in Miami. It's FIU. So like they built my very first gym for me at $120,000 at 19 years old.
Wow, that's pretty good.
And it was the craziest experience. And like I've been dancing for the past 6 years and just doing what I love every day. But for me now, the business side, it's like, damn, I get burnt out so easily and so quickly when you realize, oh crap, no one's paying my bills. I'm the only one doing this. And like every move I make is my next paycheck, you know, and like growing this.
He needs to fucking talk to Grant Cardone.
In like different areas of your life,
No,
you
this
know,
is
because
great.
like
Hey, Jamie, another thing. Listen,
and then, yeah.
listen. I talk about self-awareness over everything. That is my
Right.
biggest religion. Brother, there is nothing wrong with you not being an entrepreneur and owner of this thing. If you know, I have had my family's livelihood, then I had to start from zero again because I built it for my family. There's I can go on, and I never felt a fear of the next paycheck because I'm in my zone. If I had to read a script, if I had Lily's job, and I don't know how you're doing it, but if I had to read from a teleprompter tonight in front of 0 people, I would be so fucking scared because I can't read for shit, and it's an insecurity of mine. But if I have to go give an impromptu keynote right now in Madison Square Garden in front of 37,000 people, and I could talk about my shit, I would moonwalk to the garden right now. You might
like that?
you just
Fuck
might
yeah.
not need to be an owner of a gym, which is amazing. And that's and by the way, let's really play this out because I'm fucking fully invested at this point.
I appreciate it.
And let me give you the piece that I think really matters because I think you kind of might know what I just said. And the part of closing the gym and having your auntie or your best friend or your neighbor or somebody that looked up to you that's doing well right now judge you means horseshit too. The amount of people that judge people that are doing from the sidelines makes me laugh. When you're judged for closing the gym because you're deploying self-awareness to happiness, and you get a comment of, oh, see, and maybe you put yourself out there. Maybe you made a video 3 years ago and said, I'm going to crush it and build the next gold gym. And maybe you kind of put yourself in that spot. It still doesn't matter because you're doing and living. It doesn't matter what they think of that.
No, for sure.
And just to go back to your first point, Jamie, I want to emphasize how you viewed that vacation line is exactly how I used to view it for the many, many years of my life. What I highly recommend is that I'm saying you don't need to do that. I'm saying that take 10 minutes today after this call, even to just reflect, meditate, right? I'm saying is that if you're not having fun on the journey, it's like not worth it. And this is someone who's worked relentlessly hard. If you've watched my vlogs, you know this.
I know you have.
I believe in working hard even still, but the thing I believe in most is you have to be happy.
I love this woman so much. I couldn't believe in this more. Jamie, 99% of people just came back from summer vacation, and the first fucking day back, all the things that they thought they got went in the garbage by 9:48 p.m.
No, of course.
You know, and so I really, really, really think that it is a much more macro thing. This comes down to judgment. If there was nobody else on earth, everybody would be happy.
That's so rough.
This is a judgment game. This is you worried about what people are gonna think.
Yeah,
Once I got to the
always.
of not even caring what my own parents thought, fully, it completely unlocked for me, and I was already ridiculously happy. You can't let judgment seep in. It is the poison.
And to that point, you know, you just said the parents line. A lot of times when we let go of those types of ideas, well, of course my parents have to judge me or my friends. Or when you let go of all, then you get the judgment to yourself because you think, oh, that makes me a bad son or a bad daughter. You have to also not judge yourself in that regard. So it's just
and let me give you a secret to all the kids out there who are struggling with not letting their parents down, because I get that all day long. Gary, you say you put all this pressure on the parenting dynamic. I always say to them, listen, net, and this is not a blanket statement, nothing can be a blanket statement, but I genuinely believe that every kid who decides to do what their parents want them to do versus what they want to do end up 30 years later, 26 years later, 41 years later in massive underlining subconscious resentment of their parents. And I would rather kids and parents have a shitty 3 to 5 years than have a life full of resentment.
That's hectic.
And all that anxiety. And guess what happens out of that 3 to 5 years of bad? Somebody ends up being right. And you don't even need to have right. First of all, take it from two people. Parents get real proud when they're not sure, and then you do it.
For sure.
That's the ultimate for a parent. And more importantly, a lot of times kids lose too. There's a lot of kids that told their parents they were going to be the biggest rapper in the world, went to LA, and 9 years later are not the biggest rapper in the world, and they come back to Kansas, and they get a job in the family business or within the profession or something else, and guess what? Their parents are thrilled they're back home because they missed them, and guess what else? That next Eminem or next Jay-Z also feels good, or next Meg Thee Stallion, they also feel good because they gave it a fucking shot. And now that they're a carpenter or a businesswoman or whatever the hell they're doing, they don't have to live with regret. This is why we have to push this narrative, because it will lead to more happiness for everyone.
Jamie, how you feeling?
I'm like shaking. I'm like shaking. I have like a vlog camera in front of me because I'm like crying and I'm like wiping my tears.
Get that thumbnail, boo. Get that thumbnail.
Jamie,
Savage.
Jamie, which person in your life's opinion do you value the most? Who do you think is really riding real mindset? That, like, when you think about your life and you think about when the gym opened, who you called, or whose validation do you genuinely believe you're anchoring to?
It's definitely mom, and I think again we're all immigrants.
Mom.
I was born in Jamaica, and mom is now a doctor. So like, mom learned very early, like,
Mommy
not to be a
issues.
doctor. Like I went to school for acting and dance. Like she immediately picked up on that. So I definitely think it's her validation, even though she's come to terms with like, hey, my kid is a performer. Like he's not all in my life.
That's savage.
But again, I do want to make her proud and like somehow like, hey mom, like everything that I'm doing and like all this time I'm wasting in this industry it's not for nothing, you know.
Jamie, couple things on that, and I apologize for not letting you go, but I just feel like you're
ours now.
You're doing so much good for so many people right now, and I'm not gonna let it go, even though I feel the stress of my team telling me I'm late and this and that. Jamie, listen to me.
He's so
You
good.
have to change the narrative of artists or entrepreneurs or athletes or creative people or anybody who's willing to have any conviction of their own happiness, for that matter. You're not wasting your time. We have to put the process on a pedestal, not the results that come with it.
Absolutely.
I promise you this. There are a ton of mothers and fathers who are listening right now who are devastated that their kids went through a process of making them proud. They achieved everything. They got the degree, they got the business, they got the money, and now they're 48 and they just had dinner last week and they're completely broken. And you can't put that judgment on yourself. Your mother and every mother and father deep down, even if they don't realize it, their number one proud moment is if their child is happy. If their child had enough conviction to make themselves happy. If you can get happy about the process of this versus whatever results this gym does, you will be in a much better happy place.
Oh man. Yes, sir.
Where does your mom sit currently on this? Like, she's scared and worried, disappointed, pumped, elated?
No, so like you, and again, I'll make it fast because I basically already went through the process.
That's why they like him as well. He's quick.
I moved away. I came back.
He doesn't
And
dawdle.
now what I've done is like infiltrated in other gyms so that I'm not paying a huge overhead and taking all my classes there. So mom is really proud because like I'm running things and I have more time on my hands. So mom is proud. Mom just wants to see me reach the level that she knows I can, you know?
Yeah, but you know what? You and mom have to have a conversation about that because that's an arbitrary number. That's a fake thing. That's like VaynerMedia when people are like, your creative needs to be better. I'm like, no. Your judgment on this video is the king and queen.
Right.
Like you have to have I'm telling you, Jamie, you have to have a conversation with your mom about that. Reaching your full potential or what you're capable of has to be on your happiness data. Right now, you're nowhere on that. I don't give a fuck how many classes you're doing in 97 gyms and your profits are getting better. It needs to be on being happy about your day to day.
Amen. Agreed. Yes, sir.
You know?
But I mean, it also sounds like compared to a lot of situations other people are in, having a mom in this position is great.
Fucking amazing.
It's amazing. Yeah. So
No,
I feel like you have all the pieces to make things pop off here. I agree. Have that conversation and don't do the but after this, as Gary mentioned.
Jamie, the key is knowing how to quantify ambition so it doesn't manifest in your own personal judgment and anxiety. I'm so uncomfortably ambitious, but I've got lucky and circumstantial to put it into a place that doesn't cast judgment. If you know, in a world where I've been very successful business-wise in the last 20 years, but between the partnership with my dad and the partnership with my brother, I have nowhere close to the personal finances needed to achieve my professional goals of buying the New York Jets. At 43 years old, I sit here cool as a cucumber. So you can imagine why I push patience and lack of judgment on 25-year-olds.
Absolutely. Absolutely, sir.
Don't
respect
don't listen. Please change behavior past this.
Mm.
Please take this phone call as a moment in your life to change your behavior and recalibrate the conversation. The ambition needs to be waking up happy, not anything else.
Absolutely. Gary, can I just say that like this is a promise that I'm making to you because I watch your show almost weekly. And to be rather frank, like I was about to take a shower, go to work and like go train a client. And then I opened Facebook and I saw Lily on your show and I freaked out. I freaked because you are the only two people that I watch when I'm in a funk. So like Lily, like, again, I watched her in a funk earlier this year and I'm watching her start her own show, which is like, it's the craziest thing. So like, if I'm seeing someone like her who I've watched for 6-7 years do it and get out of it, like this call is the biggest wake up call to me. So like, please, thank you so much. Like,
Jamie, this is how we're gonna end this call. I think, and I don't want to put Lily on a spot, but I think I'm firm on this. I think there's a very strong likelihood, or maybe even booked, or kind of almost booked. Like, I'm gonna be on Lily's show.
Yes, 100%.
I felt like we were there. No, not, like we've been working on it behind it. Like, so Jamie, I'm going to fly you up here.
I'm gonna cry.
And you're gonna hang out with me in the green room the day
Mad
after the
dog.
show.
No, or I'll give you your own green room, and it'll be bigger than Gary's, and then you can hang in your green room.
By the way, Jamie, and you know why that works for me? When your green room's bigger than mine, what Lily doesn't know is she just gave me a real mitzvah, because that's gonna motivate me even more.
Yep.
To be the greatest fucking guest on her show ever. Premiering tonight at 10 p.m. on YouTube.
I know,
Yes.
I have it recorded. I have it recorded already.
So Jamie, I'm gonna have Katie give you a call and get all your details. And once we're locked in, you're coming to New York City. You're gonna hang out at Vayner in the morning. We're gonna help look at your stuff. Then we're gonna all go into record the show. LA. I'm an idiot. I'm gonna fly you to
You
LA.
still up for this, Gary?
Of course
I'm
I'm
so
gonna
sick.
fly to LA. This is what's fun about being global. You're gonna fly to LA. I'm gonna meet you in the LA office of Vayner. We're gonna hang out. Then we're gonna go do the show. You're gonna hang out in your bigger green room. I'll come and visit.
And then after the show, all three of us can talk about all the things we want to talk about. I just volunteered Gary's time.
That just
Even
happened.
more so.
That's firm. That is
And then
now
Gary's
real life.
gonna buy you a yacht.
And burn it to the ground in your face to motivate you.
Wow.
Jamie, we'll
Sounds
see
like
you
a plan.
soon.
Thanks.
You better
Jamie.
start crying. You're coming to LA. We'll see you
Appreciate
soon.
you, Jamie. Bye.
Guys, thank you.
Look at
That was
us.
fun.
Look at you making
Look at
dreams
us.
come. Look at us.
You.
You. I'm just texting my booker right now saying we need to get Gary on the show. I'm kidding. We're already working on it.
Thank you.
Thank you. This was
was a lot of fun.
great conversation. Thank
Yeah,
you.
it really
More to
was.
come.
I really wish you nothing but success. Please, Vayner Nation, support this show. Getting off to a big start on these kind of shows, unfortunately, really matters. It's just the
course.
difference of YouTube versus network TV. The infrastructure's on TV. I'm sure she has a long rope, and they wouldn't sign her up, but it never hurts. And I think an extra push
absolutely.
matters. And so, please, tonight, if you find yourself up and about, especially because I know a lot of you are hardcore and are up at 1:30, a little social love for the episode, any little bit will help her. And as you can tell, as
Well,
she
what
was
gives you
talking,
that idea?
there's so much that I agree with this wonderful woman on, and more of this conversation needs to see the earth. And so I am rooting for her heavy, and anything you guys can do for her would mean a lot to me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Gary. And thank you to everyone listening.
I mean, it's so much more like easier to say